Over the past 3 decades, the Democratic Party has been losing support from America's rural voters. These communities say they have felt alienated and ignored by the Democratic establishment. The Republican Party has filled that void with candidates like Donald Trump, who strategically centers the struggles of non-urban voters in his rhetoric. But my next guest says Democrats have a unique opportunity in 2024 to win back some of those votes. Journalist Sarah Smarsh is the author of the forthcoming book, Bone of the Bone, Essays on America by a Daughter of the Working Class. She joins us from Kansas, where she was born and still lives today. Sarah, welcome.
Hi, Fareed.
So when I look at the Democratic Party's decline in this group, rural, white, working class, white, non-college educated, white, whatever, however you describe it, and the rise of the Republicans, what strikes me is the Democrats do seem to be offering various economic measures to try to help the situation. What the Republicans are offering is more cultural politics, appealing to the traditional values of this group, kind of culture war politics. It seems as though culture trumps economics in this story. Would you agree?
You know, politics isn't a rational business. It's a psychological and felt and emotional one. And to be ignored is an invalidation. It hurts, even if that group, meanwhile, has policy going on that does benefit your place in class and people to a larger extent than the other side. If they aren't looking at you, if they aren't speaking to you in very direct ways and going to you, visiting on the ground, a 50-state strategy has not been employed for some time by the Democratic Party. It's sort of a calculation of resources, I'm sure. But in that calculation, there was a sense of where is the Democratic Party? It's not showing up here. They're not knocking on my door. They're not talking directly to me. So even as their policies may have been superior in terms of benefit to that people and space, if you've got another side that's looking directly at you, even if the things that they're saying are wrong and lies, and unfortunately, to my mind, often hateful and destructive and corrosive to the social fabric, it's at least a validation that you exist. And I think that is actually where the conservatives have found a lot of traction.
This issue of being ignored seems to me very central. Do you feel personally that you understand that feeling? I mean, you grew up in Kansas. You then went to college and kind of moved out of your comfort zone into different social groups and social classes. What was it like for you?
We just were kind of apolitical people as an experience. That's how it felt. We're out working in the wheat field. We're just trying to survive, eat, get by. And I then went on to be a first-generation college student, first at a state university here in Kansas, and then onto an Ivy League institution for graduate school. And that's where I really got a class awakening about the extent to which the place I came from was indeed foreign to and often negatively stereotyped by the very people who were becoming my friends and colleagues and allies, often well-meaning, well-intentioned people. But when you've never been somewhere, when you've never looked a particular type of person in the face, when you've never set foot in what is often, casually derided as flyover country, that void leaves a lot of room for negative assumptions. And I saw those firsthand.
So what is the opportunity for the Democrats?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think they've got a winner in vice presidential candidate Tim Walz. He, of course, hails from small town Nebraska. They've described him as having a middle class background. Sounds like working class to me. I wonder if that might be the Democrats kind of scared of using that term, but they're embracing his rurality, and that's good and that's right. He looks and sounds and feels like my place here on the Great Plains, and just strikes me as the sort of authenticity and plain spoken, direct, common sense sort of guy or gal or person that is a kind of signature of the culture of this place that has felt left out. If you look at that ticket and you're seeing him for who it is, then I don't imagine you could feel left out anymore.
So I think for you, it seems like that feeling of being seen, of connecting, almost a kind of intangible emotional connection, is most important because that's what then opens up the possibility for people to listen to your policies and your programs.
Absolutely, perfectly said. Yes.
Sarah, pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you for reading.
Next on GPS, July 21st was the hottest day on Earth since record keeping began in 1940. Then the following day broke that record again. So is there any hope for staving off catastrophic climate change? My next guest surprisingly says yes.